We've been exploring some of the different components, the different mech systems internally in Battletech, and how there's this fine tactica of, depending on the weight class, really it kind of starts at medium. Light mechs, you take a hit by an SRM 6-pack or a medium laser, you're in trouble. I'm trying to run and gun, I'm trying to stay distance, I'm trying to stay back not to get hit. And we explored light mech tactica, pushed that up to the Battletech playlist here on the channel. Once we get into mediums, again, not that I want to get hit, but we can take some damage. I can take a medium laser hit or two. I can take an AC-10. And of course, once you get to heavies and assaults, now you can really take some damage, this idea of armor. But within that, there are some lucky hits. Location, double ones, snake eyes. Location 2, you get a crit, right? Some tech left that hatch open and the missile just went right in there, or the autocannon just hit that right exact spot. We also see different headshots, things like that in the game. Putting those aside, I mean, they do happen. Mechs can take a lot of damage. And as your machine takes damage and it goes to internals, now you got to start the calculation as a mech warrior. How much more damage can I take? How much more can I push this machine before it becomes destroyed, or before it gets to a point where, yes, it's still up and I didn't lose an initiative point, but I've taken so much damage, effectively it's out of the battle. So within that, we're going to be exploring, that's the framework for the next couple of Tactica Battletech vlogs here. We're going to be exploring the idea of different systems and as a mech warrior and a mech commander, kind of those calculations that I'm making as we go. The engine hit. Let's start with possibly the worst of the worst. I mean, gyro is pretty bad, but at least I can not run and jump and walk and navigate that and kind of avoid some physical stuff and some terrain. Engine hits are a problem because immediately it spikes your heat. So if you're an energy-based mech, like the Awesome, or if you're an energy-based mech, even like a Warhammer or a Marauder, this is doubly crippling because not only is it hard to clear heat normally, now you can't even push the heat. So if you're in a place where, look, I could hit you with those 2 PPCs and the medium lasers and finish you off, really cripple you. And then next turn, my heat will be so high, I take out your mech, your other machine comes up, your other support comes up. You know, I'll backpedal a little bit. I'll cool the heat off. I'm good to go. Now the heat's so high, it gets to a point where I can't reliably clear heat. And I'm going to be stacking modifiers. I'm going to be dealing with shutdowns if I've got ammunition. That's a completely different problem. So energy mechs are in a lot of trouble. Ballistic mechs or non-energy mechs or mixed mechs, the heat's going to creep up pretty fast. An engine hit is a major, major problem. But within that framework, Fritz, I'll close in and I'll just fist it out. I'll just punch it out, right? Or I'll just fire off that medium laser every turn, or just that autocannon. I'll cut it down. I'll go defensive, right? I'll pull back. I'll hide in the woods. I'll get in that level 1 so it blocks that area off, and I'll just plink away. Yes, that is a viable tactica. But the bigger question is, how did you arrive at that center torso? In terms of mech mechanics, everything transfers and everything is hinged to that. So this idea of once I get and I am simplifying this a little bit for our new mech commanders, you get hit in the arm, you lose the armor. It goes to internals. You lose those internals, the arm blows off, drops off. Now it transfers to left or right torso. That gets dropped off. It goes to center torso. And what you see is it transfers out. It's not a miss. The idea of the damage transfer, if I don't have a left arm and I got hit in the left arm for the spread when we're rolling for location, that doesn't mean you missed. That just means it automatically transfers in. On the tech cheat sheet, there's a diagram of how that transfers in. So you lose a limb, it's not there to absorb damage. How did we arrive at center torso? You might not be around for another turn or two. This is really kind of the end of the machine. If it's chewed through all your armor and you're taking engine hits, we're not even looking at gyros yet, on top of that stacking heat. So outside of a kind of 1-1 hit, location 2 hit, where you got lucky, and the equivalent with vehicles on that is the driver port. Outside of that, what we're exploring and what we're looking at is you're probably not really going to last very long anyway. Now, sometimes that transfer in will happen very quickly, right? The best case scenario is I start getting hit on the arm, then it goes to left, then it goes to center. Sometimes you'll get hit in that left, it'll core that out. You don't have the support, the arm will fall off, and it's 2-for-1 how it transfers in. So in my opinion, gyro I don't like because it's a similar situation, right? I'm taking that damage, it's transferring, but we can navigate the gyro. Engine hits are absolutely deadly, but perhaps what is more deadly is the fact that it's going to transfer very, very quick. And if you're surrounded by 2 or 3 machines, you're possibly going to go down very, very fast. Now, we've got that framework. My fellow mech commanders, my fellow mech warriors, you got the engine hit. What do you do? How do you resolve it? I'll share a little bit of my tactica. And I won't say it's the best tactica, but it's the big guns. It's the tabletop glory, tabletop immortality. I look around at where I am and what's going on for the mission. If I'm playing a campaign, the question I ask is, can I withdraw with this machine and at least save it? I'm probably not going to have the C-bills or the replacement parts for new engine, but maybe I can scrap the armor, scrap the internals, scrap the weapons. You know, what's the C-bill of the machine? If it's engine hits on a medium, that's different than engine hits on an assault. There's a lot more to lose or scrap or transfer out on an assault mech. So I first look at the situation that I'm in. Second, I look realistically and say, will I be escaping this? Is there that possibility to do that? And then third, if I can't escape and I'm going to go down, then can I take somebody with me? If I'm going to join the ranks of the dispossessed, can I at least do it with honor? A perfect example was from a game playing a stalker. I was pushing up there, earning that battle value, taking a lot of damage, doing a lot of damage. A hidden lance comes up on me, and the mission was such that I was bringing some other forces up on the other side. We had some really complicated level 3 terrain with some dangerous mobility terrain. It was like the perfect bottleneck point, and this stalker was right there. So I'm like, I am not moving. And I took some damage, went to an engine hit. Heat is pushed. Stalker generates a lot of heat. I'm in trouble. Now, I might have been able to withdraw because we're funneling into this kind of mountain range, but I needed to just put up a barrier there. I needed to just keep that there. I came to the conclusion of, I'm going to fire everything. I've probably got one turn because it's a lance that's almost right on top of me. You know, they're at medium to short range. This is going to go down next turn. When it goes down, now it wasn't a campaign. When it goes down, I've lost the initiative. I've lost the machine. I've lost the ability to shoot. We're going to go on target to that medium mech because I had the greatest chance of crippling it or destroying it. And I'm going to fire absolutely everything. And then the second after I fire everything, I'm going to hit the eject button and get the heck out of there. Fired everything. Now I already lost half the side for the damage transfer. Fired everything. Did an impressive amount of damage. I didn't take out that medium mech. It was a Wolverine, great trooper mech, but I did some damage. I did enough. Considering where I was satisfied with that. The machine exploded. Right? That's the one time where I'm like, I need you to explode. I'm not jettisoning out the ammo. I need this mech to explode. On a side note, I'm all for house rules. I'm all for house rules. And when I learn a war game, I like to play rules as written because this is the passport that I could sit down at any table to play and enjoy the game, right? That universal communication. So I generally don't play with house rules in my group or myself, but I'm open to any expression of Battletech, or if you've got some house rules, let's make it more fun. It might be somewhere, and someone will tell that to me, but it seems like there's a possible missed opportunity with an exploding mech. I understand it's shutting down the fusion engine, but when the ammo goes off and everything goes off, I'm kind of surprised it doesn't work like artillery, where if it's 1 or 2 spaces, you take maybe X number of hits. If it's 3 spaces out, X number of hits, just random hits from this mech exploding. Of course, would we just take some battle armor and other proto-mechs and turn them into explosive bombs? Possibly, or vehicles with fusion engines. But I would say that wouldn't be practical because fusion engines are so rare to be able to do that. But I could see it as going out in a blaze of glory. I've never seen that rule in Battletech. You'll be like, Fritz, it's on page 78, TAC Op Manual in the gray box, right-hand corner. You pass through it every time because that amazing artwork is of the Warhammers on the left side. Maybe I was obviously distracted by the amazing artwork. But that's just an example of when something blows up, if there's a house rule. Okay, back to the criticals from that framework for a second. In my opinion, as a mech warrior, engine hits are the worst. Gyros we can possibly navigate unless you're a light mech, but usually you've been blown up outright. And then from there, depending on the weight class, would be heat sinks, mobility issues with the legs, then sensors and other systems with that. So we're going to explore the next couple of ones, navigating these damage systems. And again, just to make the new mech warriors and new mech commanders aware of, once you start taking damage, yes, there's the random, yes, there's the crazy stuff that can happen. But now internally, we're running those calculations to ask ourselves, what do I need to know? Where do I need to be? How much longer can I push this machine?